All right, Nick, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is off-season time. There's a lot of talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. The combine is happening. There's a lot of interesting stuff going there. You know, a few guys from Pitt right next door to the Steelers. They look interesting as well, and there's some comments made on them. But that's not what we're here about today, Nick. We're here about some of the Steelers brass down at the combine and some comments that were made about them. And I think it's really interesting, and obviously the Steelers fans are going to love this news.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Miles. But before we get into that, Steelers fans, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. Obviously, it's the offseason, gives us a chance to look back and look at all the all-time greats who have played this game we all love. And we want to know, who is your favorite, the quintessential Pittsburgh Steeler? Look, this may be the most storied franchise in the NFL. A lot of great names to choose from. So give us your quintessential Pittsburgh Steeler, the guy who embodies everything that is the Steelers organization, and give us that guy in the comment section below. Really interested to hear your thoughts there. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of the combine and the Steelers?
Yeah, Nick, I think for posterity's sake, you got to pick Ben Roethlisberger because his birthday was just a few days ago. So you got to make him feel good. Legendary Steelers quarterback. But there's also tons and tons of guys. But speaking of which, legendary Steelers, always, the few and far between amount of head coaches they had always stands out to me. Their head coaching stability has always been really, really good. And that is no different when you look at a guy like Mike Tomlin. And that is who we're talking about today, Nick. Mike Tomlin down at the combine, and he is absolutely crushing it. Everybody is loving Mike Tomlin. He is the star of the combine. He is the belle of the ball. And I'm gonna link it up to you here. You might think I'm talking crazy, but just listen to these comments, Nick. This is a tweet from a Pittsburgh Steelers insider saying, Mike Tomlin is winning the combine. Superstar cornerback Christian Gonzalez is yet another DB to say his favorite coach to talk to here has been Steelers head man Mike Tomlin. He called Tomlin real, relatable, and said he called his dad afterwards to say that Tomlin was even cooler than he thought he would, Nick. And I have two more. I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna go on to the next one. The next one up is Jordan Battle, a safety or corner from Alabama. He said, this was a great meeting. I love Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was in there. There were some great talks, and the relationship and the vibe I felt from him, I can tell that he has a great head coach. And then Battle went on to talk about how he would love to play with that Pittsburgh secondary and Alabama legend Minkah Fitzpatrick as well. There's some comps to him there. I thought that was pretty cool. Then finally, Brian Brees from Clemson, D lineman this time, said, yes, I talked to them. I've known Coach Tomlin since my freshman year at Clemson. He's there all the time. So it's like catching up with an old friend with him. He's a great guy, super easy to talk to, and a phenomenal head coach. So that's three pretty high touted prospects talking about just how much they love to talk to Mike Tomlin. What do you think about this, Nick? Is the Steelers just crushing the combine or what?
Oh, yeah, and I'll give you two more names. So Kytrell Clark, another DB, potentially linked to be a slot guy, kind of Mike Hilton-esque kind of player, came out and was a potential link for the Steelers, had a lot of good things to say as well. And Joey Porter Jr., a name that a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans are certainly very familiar with as a corner coming out of Penn State, would be very excited, of course, to land with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's definitely a lot of mutual interest there for a number of reasons. Now, of course, I'm going to take a step back, and why does this matter? Some Steelers fans may be like, oh, what does this matter? How does this, the fact that the players like him, is that even a good thing? Maybe that could be a bad thing. No, and here's why. Where you build your roster in today's NFL, the way it's structured with the salary cap, is you have to get solid players, young players in this case, in the free agency game, whether undrafted free agents or guys who just, they're after the third, fourth year with their current team, they didn't make the team or didn't work out very well, so they get cut, maybe a potential trade, something like that. And when these players all are available, these young guys, they kind of get their pick of the litter because they're so cheap, right? A lot of teams have to figure out how to make it work in the salary cap, and the way they do it to get their number 3 corner or their gunner on special teams or whatever it may be is they scour the waiver wire where all these young guys are that are costing only going to be like $500,000 against the cap or so. And these players get to choose which team they want to go to. And this is what can make or break a playoff team. We always see it. Key games every year. A key special teams play doesn't go your way. A key third down stop in certain situations. A corner that has a bad penalty or something like that. And that can be the difference between you making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. times, having some depth in some positions where you get injured late in the season and you win a game or lose a game you probably shouldn't have. That's what really matters when you have things done the right way, like the Steelers do at quarterback and a lot of other skill positions. It's those things under the radar. And having the ability to get these potential guys to like Tomlin and want to play for the Steelers is huge come that time. Because when these free agents are available, and like, okay, I can choose the Steelers, or I can choose the Dolphins, or I can choose the Patriots. I don't like Bill Belichick. I don't know about the Dolphins, but I love Mike Tomlin. I'm going to Pittsburgh. That's where it matters. And that's one of the reasons why teams like the Kansas City Chiefs are so successful, well, by the way, because people love Andy Reid and they want to go play for the Chiefs. They want to play with Andy Reid, just how the way he carries himself. It's that same demeanor, and that really plays a huge role in getting these free agents, especially these young guys out of college, whether they get waived or not get drafted, to get them to come to your team is having a coach who can connect with these players and get them into the fold.